70,000 years ago, during the height of the ever-changing Pleistocene, the same sun beats down on our ancestors as it does for us today. A tribe, a family of about 25 members, make their way across the unforgiving landscape. For weeks now, they have been tracking a herd of wild horses that have been migrating north due to the warming climate. The hunters in the tribe, who have been at the head of the group, know that they are close to their goal. Many of the tribe members are on the brink of starvation. Having gone without proper sustenance for days, they shuffle onward despite this, with the hope of fresh meat propelling them forward. Ahead, a jagged face of rock, composed of gravel and flint, blocks their path. Despite their weakness, the tribe is able to scale the rock face, finding themselves at the top of the ridge within the hour. The group continues on, proud of their small victory. Unbeknownst to them, however, the worst danger was just beyond the crest. They trek along the ridge, minding their feet on sharp stones. At the end of the trail, at the edge of the steep decline, they see a valley of plenty. Down below the edge, a small holler, dotted with wild grass and boulders, occupies a civilization older than their own. The creatures below, humanoid, although not entirely akin to themselves, inhabit the valley. They are massive, hulking figures with broad rib cages and barrel chests. Their physical capabilities far exceed the tribe of sapiens, their bodies rippling with muscle and covered in hair. The largest of the group, a superior example of stoicism, sits below on a boulder, ripping apart the carcass of a wild horse, the very same that the tribe of sapiens had been tracking. The male, armed with a sharp stone, uses his girth to tear apart the flesh of the beast, coming off with the leg of the dead animal. The tribe was not unaware of the existence of these primitive people, as they had encountered groups of them before, but the interaction between the two was so rare that it was mostly bi-generational. Indeed, knowledge of these people had mostly faded into legends, ghost stories told around the fire to scare the younglings into tending to their chores. But these people were no myth. They were as real as the tribe of hunters and far older than any other civilization. This group of hominins settled below in the valley, living out of a cave, were the original humans. The tribe of sapiens congregate with each other, contemplating their next move. Yes, it's true, the hominins below are clearly a force to be reckoned with. However, going through their territory is the quickest and most efficient option. By now, the decision to go out of their way and go around the mountain rather than through it would set the group back by at least a week, an amount of time that the starving sapiens don't have. As frightening as facing the Neanderthals below may be, it is their only option for survival. The family makes their way down the mountain pass, minding their feet on jagged flint edges and other sharp stones. The traverse is steep and loud. Their descent does not go unnoticed. This was purposeful, as the hunters felt it was best to announce their presence, rather than sneak up on the territorial beings. The group of bipeds begin to take notice of the sapiens, standing upright and observing the strange creatures that have entered their domain. As the tribe approaches the Neanderthals, more details emerge. The noses of the people below are large, seemingly able to take in gulps of cold air. Their brows are enunciated more than any other feature, with the ridge above their eyes bulging out. Although it was immediately clear that they had been wider than the sapiens, it was now apparent that they were actually quite shorter as well, standing slightly hunched and a few inches below even the shortest of the sapien adults. Closer than ever now, their muscularity is unparalleled. Even the females of the collective, making up of about a third of the whole, were covered in muscle and hair. Gender roles were not available here, as every member of the clan was expected to take part in the hunt and pull their own weight. Now, kissing the valley's ground, the tribe of sapiens are only 100 yards or so away from the group of Neanderthals. Before they can take another step, however, the largest member of the group, the alpha, stands tall, puffs out his chest, and lets out a low grunt, a warning. The hunter leading the family of sapiens holds up his hand. He is commanding the tribe to stop where they are. In his other hand, a spear with a stone point is kept close to his side. He doesn't suspect it will help if fighting breaks out, but he feels more confident holding it. Slowly, he approaches the alpha, his head bent low and shoulders hunched, in an attempt to appeal to the leader's ego. The alpha, in turn, picks up a heavy stone and lets out another grunt, louder, almost like a roar. He is warning the hunter to back off. The hunter, very slowly, lowers his spear and places it on the ground. He then proceeds to bring his hands towards his collarbone, where a seashell necklace, painted in ochre, made by elderkin, rests in place. The hunter undoes the knot of the rawhide necklace, an excellent piece of craftsmanship, and places the jewelry in his palm. Very slowly, he places the necklace on the ground in front of him, only a few yards away from the leader of the Neanderthals. An offering. Again, very slowly, he then backs away, careful to grab his spear as he does so, and retreats to the front of the family. The Neanderthal looks at the necklace on the ground, curious but still wary. He lowers the rock and turns towards his group. In a complex string of signs involving nods and hand gestures, he addresses a young girl with long, unkempt hair. The woman signs back, shyly. The alpha gives an authoritative grunt and nods towards the necklace. Cautiously, the girl steps towards the artifact, first observing it, and then picking it up and handling it. As she plays with the string, a smile dawns her face. She carefully touches it, admiring it for its beauty and complexity, and then scurries back to the center of the group, where a couple of the women and a few men surround her and chatter in an undecipherable language, gawking over the piece of jewelry. The leader of the Sapiens and the alpha of the Neanderthals lock gazes. The hunter is careful not to maintain prolonged eye contact with the stoic leader of these ancient people, focusing instead on the ground just below the feet of the Neanderthal. The alpha gives a court nod and a brief grunt, strict but accepting. He gestures with his eyes towards the place where the mountain path picks back up, and then turns back towards the group to continue his task of dividing the portions. Quickly, but respectfully, the Sapiens make their way through the valley and out to the other side, careful not to get too close and pollute the space of the Neanderthals. They allowed them to pass through their territory this time, but next time, the group of Sapiens may not be so lucky.